Welcome back to Late Night with Walter. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Leave me your thumbs up. Leave me your questions, your comments, and please share this video out. Y'all, please check out my music channel. I am starting to post videos over there again. I did one last night, and I will put it at the end of this video, and I will also put it in the comment section, so it'd be easy for y'all to find. But it's on my music YouTube channel. I'm going to be posting videos over there once a week, and if people likes it, I may do it twice a week. But that channel is getting very close to getting monetized, so y'all help me out. What's for dinner? It was salmon steaks, little salmons. It was grilled, and then I bought a bunch of salmon probably a month ago, and I cut it up and I cooked it all. I grilled it, then I portioned it out and froze it, and then Amy took a pack of that out tonight, heated it up in the oven, and she made some yellow and zucchini squash with onions to go with it. Whew, it was good. Another update on the CDs. Y'all, I got the CDs back today. I got all the packaging done on them. They look good. I'm happy with them. So tomorrow I will work on the website, make sure everything's on point, and it should be ready Sunday. Tomorrow is, it should be ready Sunday, but I'll let you know, and it will be in the links down there. The link is already on that page that I've got in the description box, but it's not turned on, so I will turn it on once I'm finished making sure everything is up and up on it, Y'all ask your questions tonight. I'll answer them tomorrow night on tomorrow night's show. And let's ask questions about almost anything except politics or stimulus. We do not talk about them two subjects here. And if I don't answer your question, please forgive me. I missed it. Put a bunch of question marks on it so maybe I will see it. Also, if you ask me something I don't know, don't get mad at me, but I will let you know I don't know. Also, if a lot of people ask the same question, I won't call no name. I will just say a lot of people has asked. And sometimes also somebody will ask a question. I will write their name down and I will answer it. Well, I'll go on down further and somebody else has already answered it. Ask it too. I'm sorry, I'm only going to put one name on it. Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all about a phone call I got this morning. These people are driving me crazy. I got a phone call. I guess it was 8 o'clock this morning. I answered the call. I said, hello. They said, we're going to put you on hold. Please hold. Don't call me if you're not ready to talk. I almost reverted back to my old ways, the things I wanted to say. But I didn't. I'll just be glad when all this election stuff is over because they're driving me crazy with all their text messages. Okay, story time. Last night, I was going to tell you the story about when I met Billy Walker, and I got off on talking about the song of his that I recorded, and I forgot to tell you about the story. I told you I'm getting old. It's my brain. So I'm going to tell you the story tonight. Okay, Billy Walker. He had great hits like Charlie Shoes, One in a Million. That was my favorite song by him, One in a Million. But anyway, I was working at a restaurant. It originally started off as a Western Sizzling. steakhouse. And then the guy that owned the franchise turned it into a Barn Hills Country Buffet. And I worked for them people for 15 years. I love them people. In fact, I almost got in a fight one time because after they closed, I overheard somebody bad-mouthing Steve Barnhill, which was the owner. I almost came unglued because Steve Barnhill helped me so much. I love all the Barnhills. They are great people. I worked for them for 15 years. And the funny thing is, I'm getting off on a tangent here, but anytime I thought that I needed a raise, Steve could tell I was thinking. He said, "What's wrong, Walter?" Every time he would say, "What's wrong, Walter?" I said, "I need a raise." And Steve would say, "Well, how much do you want?" And I tell him, and I was always fair with him. He didn't tell me he was going to do it. He would always say, "I'll see what I can do." Well, on the next paycheck, it was always there. Never failed. He always gave me what I wanted. The Barnhills, if y'all ever ate at a Barnhills Country Buffet, they've got good food. And I love the Barnhills, the whole family. Okay, back to the story. I'm getting sidetracked. Charlie Walker. When I was working at this Barnhills Country Buffet, Charlie Walker came to Pensacola. He was doing a show at the Shriners Arena, I guess is what you call it. I don't know what it is. It's a big building with all these big, crazy-looking domes on top of it. It looked like something out of the Middle East or something. But they was doing a show out there. Well, that day they had lunch at Barnhills. And they come walking in just like anybody else, dressed like anybody else. Didn't look like a star at all. Well, I seen Billy Walker. And at that time, I was probably 19, 20 years old. But I saw Billy Walker. And there was a waitress there. Me and her was so close. We was inseparable. I mean, we'd work all day. We'd go out in the evening, party till the next day. I mean, just friends. That's all we were. I mean, she was like a sister to me. But I told her name was Leslie Grace. And I told Leslie, I said, "You know who that is?" Because she was crazy about country music just like me. She said, "No." I said, "That's Billy Walker." She said, "No, it ain't." I said, "Yes, it is." I said, "Go ask him." Well, she did ask him. It so happened she was his server. Well, she asked him, "Are you Billy Walker?" She said he acted surprised. She said, "Well, my cook said you're Billy Walker, and I just wanted to find out." He said, "Yes, I am Billy Walker." And he looked into the kitchen through the pass-through window where he could see me, and he was really surprised to see how young I was, and I knew who he was right off the bat. Well, she came back and she told me he was surprised. And I started naming off songs that he did. Well, she went back and told him how much about him I knew. Well, he got up and came to the window and introduced himself. Very nice man, and he's a very tall man. But he was a very nice man. That's something I'll never forget. I've worked in several different restaurants where several different stars just came in, and he was just one of them. But yeah, that was a good day when I met Billy Walker. But I did not get to go to the show. I wish I had, but things happen. But anyway, that's how I met Billy Walker. And I never had an idea in my head that one day I would record one of his songs. But I did, and it was Charlie's Shoes. And it's on my YouTube channel. And it's also on one of my CDs. Okay, let's get into the questions and answers. I got a lot of them tonight. Okay. K on Rocks said, "It sounds like I have another channel just for my country music." I do, K on Rocks. It's in the description box below. Or you can just Google my name, Walter Weyburn, on YouTube, and you will find it. I have two channels with the name Walter Weyburn. This channel that you're watching here, and then the other one is my music. Matter of fact, I posted a video there last night. I wished everybody would go see it. Chad Falstetter. Chad, I'm sorry. Y'all, please forgive me for butchering these names. My reading is not the best in the world. But he asked, do I play the keyboard? In some of my videos, he sees a keyboard sitting in the background. Chad, those was old videos that I'd done when I was recording other people in my studio, and I had all kinds of instruments there in case they needed them. But no, I do not play the keyboard. Sometimes, if you ever see me and it looks like I'm playing a keyboard, again, it's just an air keyboard that I'm playing. I don't know how to play a keyboard. I wished I did. Yeah, I used to have 2 upright pianos and an electronic keyboard. Never knew how to play them though. I just had them for other people. Jamie Bryson asked, since I said I got all those VHS tapes, she said, do you still have a VCR? No, I don't. I've got tons of VHS tapes. No way to play them. And you'd be surprised, I probably got 500 DVDs. No way to play them. I don't have a DVD player. I could play them on my computer, but I'm always working on my computer. Jamie Bryson also asked, have I ever met George Strait? No, I have not. I wished I had. I love George Strait. In fact, getting back to the Steve Barnhill thing that I was telling you about, the restaurant owner, to me, Steve Barnhill looked just like George Strait in George Strait's younger days. They could pass for identical twins, in my opinion. And they even dressed alike with the starched jeans, cowboy boots, and everything. I mean, it was just like you was talking to George Strait. Joseph Shanero asks, what is my favorite books in the Bible? In the Old Testament, it would be the story of Ruth. It's a tender love story, and y'all know how I am. But in the New Testament, it would be the book of Daniel. Now, this person that asked these questions, he asked 3 questions. His name is in symbols. I don't know how to read symbols. It looks like Arabic or something. I'm not sure. He asked a couple of things. He said, how do you find GarageBand? Because you know I talked about GarageBand last night. You can't get it on anything but Apple products. If you got an iPhone, you can get it. If you got an Apple computer, you can get it. But it's an Apple product. You have to have their devices to get to it. But it would be in their Play Store. Why? He also asked, why is my book so cheap? They're only $3.99. $3.99 is the going rate for most ebooks. But if you want to pay more, I'd love to have it. He also asked, do you live in a house or a condo? I live in a house. It's a rented house. We've been here like 6 years now, but that may be changing after the first of the year. Patty Sprawls asked if I ever listened to Locust Nelson. I really don't know who that is unless it's one of Willie Nelson's kids. But no, I have not. Never heard of him, really. I'm just guessing that it's one of Willie Nelson's kids. Don Nelson asks, have I ever listened to Kane Brown? Never heard of him. And that's one thing, too. If they're new singers, 99% chance I've never heard of them, because I do not follow the music scene anymore because of the fact that it's not country. A lot of them calls themselves country, and a lot of people are misled and they think it's country, but it's far from country in my book. Carol Turtle asks, how's the hurricane down here? We got very little of it. The people over in Louisiana got battered, though. But just a couple of weeks prior to this one, we got Sally and we got battered on that one. But this one was hardly anything, just some heavy winds and a little bit of rain. Richard Gary asks, how well do I know Gene Watson? Not at all. I love Gene Watson. I love his music. I did meet him one time at Hank Williams Memorial Service that I went to. And he only had like one hit at the time. It was a long time ago. And he would pull up in his little minivan and he would open the side doors and he would sit there and play his guitar and sing for you, sign autographs. But that's my brush with Gene Watson. I do love Gene Watson. And I recorded one of his songs and it was a UZ TV hit for me. It was 14 Karat Mind. And it's also on one of my CDs. Stace Johnson asks, who is my favorite NASCAR driver? Jimmy Johnson. I love Jimmy Johnson. And the reason why is crazy. He's a great driver. And he's been my favorite driver for ever since I can remember. But the thing that got me hooked on him was his car. Remember when Lowe's was sponsoring him and he had the silver and blue paint job? I thought that was so pretty. I had to buy a replica of the car and put it in the rear view, in the back dash of my car. I love that car. It was so pretty. Sherry Dugan asks if I would pray for her. She is seeing a doctor now for a big mass that's on her neck and she's in a lot of pain. Everybody please say a prayer for Sherry Dugan. I know how scared she is right now, not knowing what that is. I went through the same thing. Yes, Sherry, we will say a prayer for you. And if all of us praise together, I know God will see you through it. Dennis Patterty, I'm not even going to try that, is looking for a kidney donor. Let's all pray that he finds one very soon. Lois Ann Whopper asks, do I like Blake Shelton? Lois, you may not like this answer. I cannot stand Blake Shelton. He made a comment a few years ago, anybody that likes old country music or just old farts and they need to go out to pasture. Well, I'm an old fart, but I'd rather be an old fart than a new country turd any day. Hazel Bermemini, that's wrong, Hazel, I'm sorry, babe. But she asked, is there a time in music history that I like the best? Yes. For country music, it was the 70s and early 80s. Rock and roll music, the 80s, definitely. Joaquin Cortez reminded me that we lost Glenn Campbell a while back. Yes, we did, and Glenn Campbell was a great writer, singer, guitar player, you name it. Glenn Campbell could do it. And he also had the Glenn Campbell Good Time Hour back years ago. A little story about Glenn Campbell. When I got old enough that Mama would start letting me out of the house a little bit, she would let me walk to my little girlfriend's house. And my girlfriend at the time, her name was Jenny McConnell. She probably lived 4 or 5 miles away. Well, on Sundays, she would let me walk to her house. Well, walking up and down Pace Boulevard in Pensacola, Florida, I would be singing at the top of my lungs, Rhinestone Cowboy. Everybody up and down that street had to hear that song, whether they liked it or not. But I loved that song, and it was a hit at the time. Nat Lee asked if I liked the Beatles. A little story about that too, Nat. Yeah, I love the Beatles. But I never did care for them until this moment in time. It was probably late 80s. There was a tribute band to the Beatles. The name of the band was the Roaches, and they had a free concert at Pensacola Beach. We got a big pavilion out there, and it's a big concrete clamshell with a stage. They put on a free concert out there. And man, it was like you was looking at the Beatles and listening to the Beatles. They was spot on with everything. I mean, the hair, the suits, the tone of their voice when they talked and sing. It was like you was watching the Beatles. And they got me hooked on the Beatles, and I've loved the Beatles ever since. I liked them all separately. You know, later in their career, they done separate careers. But as a group, early days, the Beatles, I didn't care for them until I seen that show. Then I was hooked on the Beatles. I love the Beatles. This is funny. Bozo Bozo. Funny name and funny question. Reply. He said he watches my show while he's smoking a big old blunt. Bozo Bozo, if you got it, fire it up. I remember the days when I did it. I'm glad I don't do it no more, though. But if you do it, fire it up, brother. Shirley Smith asked, do I eat fish? Actually, Shirley, I had fish tonight. I had salmon. I love fish. I love any type of seafood, with the one exception of raw oysters. I can't do raw oysters, but I do love them cooked any way you want to cook them. But if I had my way, I would have some kind of seafood every day. Rochelle Kurtziner? Rochelle, I'm sorry. Asked what's my favorite movie. I covered that the other night. Grease. All-time favorite. I watched it 27 times at the theater before I got the VHS tape. Karen Merle asked if I have met Willie Nelson. No, I have not. I would like to. A lot of people has. A lot of people's gotten stoned on his bus. Maybe Bozo Bozo has met him. I don't know. If you met him, Bozo, let us know. Y'all ever heard that song? It was Toby Keith. And I forgot the other person that done it with him, but it was someone else wrote it, and they also done it with Toby Keith. I'll never smoke weed with Willie again. I used to love to do that song. Never recorded it. I wished I had. Les Mundrift asks, do I like Ronnie McDowell? A little story about this one too, Les. I love Ronnie McDowell. When the song first came out, The King Is Gone, everybody swore that it was Elvis Presley doing the song, but under a different name. Even I thought it was. And the way it appeared at all the radio stations, it appeared in the mail, or it just showed up with no return address. It just appeared. That's how Ronnie McDowell got that record out. And it was just something mysterious about the way it was delivered to the radio stations that added to that fuel. It might have been just a publicity stunt to make that happen. But yes, I love Ronnie McDowell, and I did The King Is Gone. I think it's on my YouTube channel. Also, I did see Ronnie McDowell 3 times in concert. I seen him at Machine Gun Kelly's. It was an old bar that was on in Pensacola. And right when the show was starting to start, you know, Elvis Presley's intro, the theme from Space Odyssey 2001, they would play that, and the spotlights was just going everywhere. Everybody's heart was beating. I mean, you could feel your blood pressure. But when he came on stage, walked through the crowd and got on the stage and started singing, oh man, it was so good. Yeah, I love Ronnie McDowell. I also seen him at the Pensacola Interstate Fair, and I think my sister-in-law, she went with us at the time. I think my sister-in-law kind of got a crush on him from that show. But yeah, I do love Ronnie McDowell. When the album first came out, The King Is Gone, radio stations everywhere had a contest where you can win a copy of the album. I won a copy. Both of my brothers won a copy. My sister won a copy. My grandma won a copy. My mama won a copy. We had plenty of copies of that album in the house. Karen Merrill asked if Amy ever sits in when I'm recording my shows. No, she don't. She stays away. I think she thinks she's going to bother me, and it might be a little uncomfortable. I mean, but no, she stays in the living room and watches TV. Nancy Morgan asked, if one day I found out I could sing again, what would be the first song I sing? That would be tough. It would probably be a religious song. I would probably sing something to God. That would be tough. Linda Madeline, I know I'm messing that name up. She asked if I had $1 million to give away, would I give it to one person or divide it with 10 people? I'm going to have to explain that one. I wouldn't give it to anyone. What I would do, and this way I could help more than 10 people. I would find people that's really down on their luck and had no hope for the future. I would set them up in a rental house. I would pay their rent, pay their utilities, and pay for their groceries for a year. But during that time, they would have to promise to me that they would go to school, a trade school, and get a trade. And I would also pay for that school. But I would want to see their grades, to make sure they're keeping their grades up, to make sure they're keeping up their end of the bargain. That way, when they get through with the school, they can provide for themselves. This way, I can help a lot more than 10 people with $1 million. But I would pay their rent, their utilities, and their groceries, and for the school for a year. Y'all, if you give a man a fish, and I'm a strong believer in this, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. I would not just hand money over like that. Okay, y'all, this is the last one. Brenda Lelone. Walter, what's your middle name? Y'all, I hate my middle name. It's Oliver. But I do like my initials, W-O-W. Wow. I always kid everybody and say that's what all the pretty girls say when they see me. Wow. But they don't say it in a good way. They say, wow, look at that old fat ugly man. Y'all, please check out the video that I got at the end of this one. It's over on my country music YouTube channel. I recorded it last night and I posted it during the night last night. I am going to start posting not songs. I am going to start posting videos over there once a week. And if y'all let me know you like it, I may do it twice a week. But that channel is very close to being monetized. And I've had that channel now probably 12, 13 years. And it's just now getting to the point that I can monetize it, because most of those songs I can't monetize. And that's why it's been taking so long. But it's getting to the point now that I can monetize it pretty soon. But I need y'all to go help me with that. If you're not subscribed over there, please subscribe. I need 1,000 subscribers. Right now I got, I think, 930. And I need 4,000 watch hours. I think right now I got like 800 watch hours. So it's coming soon, and y'all can help me make it even sooner. Y'all, I love you all. Please go watch that video. It would help me out. Also, come back in the morning at 6 a.m. for a stimulus video. And just know I love you all, and we will get out of this. And say a prayer for those 2 people that I mentioned earlier. They're really needing help. The lady that's got the mask on her neck, I know what she's going through. I know the fear that she has. I know what she's thinking, but I pray that it won't turn out to be that. And also pray for the guy that's looking for a kidney donor. Y'all, I love you all. Until tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Ciao.